There are very few firsts and mosts in history. Tonight we mark the anniversary of one of those, the so-called crime of the century.
It happened right here in Chicago in a home near the one owned by the Obamas. And like any compelling crime story, there is a twist. Brad Edwards live in the Kenwood neighborhood with the story tonight. Brad.
Good evening, Kate and Rob. 91 years ago this night, a little boy went to sleep in his house for the final time. His house, that mansion, a rare, real, still standing relic of Chicago crime history, now destined for an update.
It was an unbelievable crime.
This is the manor where a little boy named Bobby Franks lived.
91 years later, we're still talking about this case.
At Chicago's History Museum,
The term came out of that crime, the thrill killing.
Nathan Leopold, Phi Beta Kappa at U of C, on his way to Harvard, and Richard Loeb, son of a Sears VP, graduated the University of Michigan at 17. A couple silver spoon Chicagoans.
Decide that they are so intellectually superior that they can commit the perfect crime. Just coming to terms with the idea that people would actually kill somebody just to see if they could.
They chose the neighboring Franks boy.
They have a very high level of interest in the general public.
Here, for the first time on display in a decade.
They are, in some ways, the undoing of Leopold and Loeb's idea of what the perfect crime would be.
Leopold's glasses he left near where they dumped Bobby Franks' body after taking a chisel to his head. The case hinged on the glass hinges, specific to only 3 in Chicago. Only Leopold didn't have an alibi. They were spared death by the brilliant Clarence Darrow. 91 years later, not much remains of the case of the century. Even the early plastic-framed glasses are at risk.
It's sort of fighting with itself, and the pieces of the glasses are actually coming apart.
At year's end, they'll return to storage at just above freezing.
So much of Chicago's criminal past is gone. Homes were torn down, buildings were torn down.
And the 10,000 square foot home, empty for years. It's not relegated to the ash bin of history, where a little boy named Bobby Franks lived. It will return to its original state. The company behind the redo, though, didn't get back to us, but we know they are working with the city, the Department of Landmarks and Preservation, as they plan to do a complete renovation. We're live in Chicago's Kenwood neighborhood. Brad Edwards, CBS 2 News. Rob and Kate.
All right. Thank you, Brad.